Hello, friends and members of the Creation Research Society. Dr. Brown here. As you know, we have our upcoming conference this summer in St. Louis, Missouri. That's July 24th through the 26th. It's our annual Creation Research Society technical conference. And each year we have we have a Henry Morris Memorial Lecture, something to recognize Henry Morris's role in the creation movement, as well as his role in the founding of CRS. And we try to find somebody who's worked with him and who can speak to his involvement in their lives in creation science. And this year we are very blessed to have Bill Hoesch, who will be delivering the Henry Morris Memorial Lecture, talking about his work over the years in geology. So, Bill Hoesch, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Joel.
Bill, this is the first time we've met, and I look forward to meeting you in person this summer. Can you tell us a little bit about how you met Henry Morris and how he impacted your life in creation science?
Sure. Thank you, Joel, and thank you for the opportunity to share on this subject. I was a new believer. I was about 2 years old in Christ, living in Houston, Texas. My first job was in the petroleum industry. I was an exploration geologist for 7 years, and then I got saved and heard about this crazy place in California called the Institute for Creation Research. And I said, I want to learn more about this. And anyway, it was a very short time later, amazingly short time later, I was on the road out to California, and I met Henry Morris for the first time. And of course, I heard about him at that point and was a little scared about meeting him. And then he sat me down in his office and he said, Bill, nice to meet you. Please sit down. I want to hear your testimony in Christ. And I talked to him. I must have been for an hour or maybe 40 minutes. He was so interested and so eager to learn. And ever since then, it was really just a warm relationship with him. I became a student at the Institute for Creation Research Graduate School, studying under Steve Austin and several other good scientists, and eventually got my master's degree. And after a year in China as a missionary, I came back and got invited to work at the Institute, where I worked for a period of 17 years. Henry Morris was my boss for about 14 of those years. And so I'd see him every day, almost every day, right?
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. I mean, you're exactly the sort of person who has a perspective on this that we'd like to share and like to highlight. Now, I understand now you are at the Mount St. Helens Creation Center. So how did you end up there, and what are you doing there now?
Well, it's a long story. After finishing my work at ICR, that ended in 2008 when the Institute moved to Dallas. I was not part of that move. And I did different types of outdoor education. I was teaching part-time. I had adjunct kind of faculty positions, which means what? You don't get paid very much, but they give you that honor, right? But anyway, it was good. And then the opportunity came for me to take over the directorship here when the former director left, Pat Roy. And so it's been a real adventure here because I get to interact almost daily with people who have burning questions about creation. And Mount St. Helens, it turns out, and I've known this for a period of more than 20, probably 30 years, that Mount St. Helens is the perfect open door for talking about matters of creation, judgment, redemption, etc. And so that's what I do here.
That's really interesting. Now, I imagine you may not have thought through your talk that you're going to give at CRS, but I imagine it's going to be kind of this walk down memory lane about your work with Henry Morris and what you're doing now at the Mount St. Helens Creation Center. And this is an important year for Mount St. Helens. Can you speak to that?
Yes. So it's the 45th anniversary of the 1980 eruption, and really fun to talk about. And a lot of people, they don't have a good grasp of the scale of this eruption, how it impacted people. It was life-changing for a lot of people throughout Washington State, really. And anyway, so it's fun to talk about that. Try to relive a little bit of that, but more importantly, I like to emphasize to a more educated audience that this was a sedimentological event. This impacted the way we interpret sedimentary geology in a huge way, and in a way that really ought to challenge the way we think about Earth history. So I call it a fantastic. Mount St. Helens is the best open window for talking about a literal view of creation, because it's rational, it's straightforward, it's events that really happened. You cannot contest the evidence. When PhDs come here, occasionally we get skeptics come through here, and I'll show them through, and they get the same evidence I show with everyone else. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, and we find that people tend to be speechless. They don't know what to say because you can't argue with facts. It's not my theory versus theirs. You see, this really happened, and so it's a fun thing for me to be a part of.
Yeah, no, that sounds fantastic. And I guess we look forward to getting a glimpse through this window that you're speaking of this
Good.
summer when you deliver that memorial lecture. Thank you for taking this brief time to join us and kind of give us a taste of what's coming. And I look forward to meeting you this summer and hearing a lot more about what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you, Joel. There's certainly a lot more that can be said. Yeah.
Absolutely. And to all of our friends and members out there, don't forget the Creation Research Society meeting is open for registration. Check that out. And you can also submit an abstract. It is open for abstract submission. And Bill Hoesch will be one of the keynote speakers there this year.